Well, it doesn't happen every time that I don't have a quirk, a gimmick to start the podcast. I'm not laughing. I'm not making fun of Kunal. And, it's just a sober beginning because that's how the new year has begun. My name is Rishi Kapoor. Kunal Shah standing opposite me. And welcome to Inside Line F1 podcast. This happens to be the first podcast for 2014 and not the ideal start to the year, Kunal.
Not at all. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Season as well. That's what we usually end up wishing people as well.
Yes, we do that year after year.
Rishi, you and I also have a bit of responsibility. We've got to try and lift the spirits up of all our listeners and Formula One fans.
Yes, it has been a week of sad news. What happened to Michael in a skiing accident? Well, one can't believe that skiing can be any less safer than Formula One and bikes and stuff. But yes, it had to happen. It was written and it's a sad thing. My heart goes out to the whole Schumacher family.
Yes, it does. And it's actually even more sad that we first lost the V8s in 2013.
We did.
Okay. And now, of course, Schumacher's stable but critical. We don't know what to make of the media reports. But Rishi, incidentally, I know this is the first podcast like you mentioned. And we usually have our Inside Line Formula One podcast awards. Okay. It's probably time to tell our listeners that this podcast is going to be a tribute to Michael Schumacher. Okay. And apparently you and I have also spoken to most of the drivers and they are very, very happy to let us dedicate this rightfully to Schumacher.
Yes, and they very keenly extend their support to his family.
And they were also willing to wait for their most coveted award as well.
That came as a surprise. It's not the ideal thing to be in coma on your 45th birthday. Kunal and I would really want to extend our wishes. On a great 45th year, it hasn't begun the right way. And we're hoping and praying that he gets all the health. And we've been asked to not come to Grenoble and lend our blood if we want to. And we would gladly do that for Michael. But, here's to remembering the man as a champion, as what he is, as a great human being, and a lot of things about him that people don't know. I remember the day he actually quit Formula One for good. And he said this on radio. It was written on his car that life is all about passion. And thank you for sharing mine. And it just touched my heart. And that man has so much to give to life and to Formula One.
Absolutely. And, I can say this for you and I and, the Inside Line Formula One podcast, that Formula One is our biggest passion in life. And, we really thank Michael for being the most perfect driver that there is. And most importantly, one of the best ambassadors of the sport ever.
Well, yes. I mean, he's in danger. I understand that. I realize that. But we can't make this sound so...
You got to cheer up, Rishi. Turn on the engine. Get the V10s.
Yes, we have to. With a smile. I really want to ask you, Kunal, when is the first time you actually noticed Michael?
Well, the first time I noticed Michael, I believe it was I think it was 94, or maybe 95. I can't remember. I was a kid back then. Uh-huh. But I must tell you my best memory of him, Rishi. That's one thing that I will really make you feel jealous about. Uh-huh. Okay. It was in May 2010. I was at the Turkish Grand Prix. Uh-huh. Okay. And Michael and I crossed each other's paths, and we were at one of the autograph signing sessions. Uh-huh. And before I could even go up and say hi, he just looked at me, winked, and he said, "What's up?"
What are you saying?
Yeah, I don't know what happened after that because I know I fainted.
I'm so glad I wasn't there. I would have started crying like a little girl, maybe touched his feet, asked him for marriage. My first memory of Michael is also the most fondest memory. This was Malaysia in 1999. He'd come back from an accident. He was helping Irvine. He let him overtake him in the race and they blocked Hakkinen for the rest of the race. I mean, for a man like Michael to give it up so easily.
Yes, for a man like Michael. That's probably the first and the last time he probably let a teammate through, I'm guessing.
Well, yeah.
But we do know that he let Sebastian Vettel through in 2012.
Yes, and Ferrari wasn't so happy about it. Yeah, I should mention, I think the best overtaking maneuver I've ever seen in Formula One, and I don't have a biased opinion, I think is by Michael. It was against Jenson Button. You guys can YouTube it. It is at Imola, where he overtakes him at the top of the hill, just before the chicane where the second sector ends. So I've given it to you in detail. You must see it.
Don't worry, I'll give them in even more detail. I'll paste a link of that so our listeners can link back to
that. Is brilliant.
Apart from memories, and this is my favorite subject. What is the one thing you liked most about him?
Getting the best out of every situation. That man has taught me that if you're not going for the win, you're not doing enough. Even at the age of 43 when he was racing, I have seen and heard from him being in the garage till 5, where all the drivers have left the paddock at 1. In the Singapore Grand Prix, I remember that was, and David Coulthard walked up to him, because he was the only driver in the paddock at that time to give an interview, and he said, "You're still here, and all the younger guys are probably gone for golf or baseball or probably having a drink at a bar. Why do you do it, and how do you do it?" And just his passion, to be one with the car and to be the best. And I love that about him. I love that.
Absolutely. And
what do you love about him?
You've not left a lot for me, but I think the one thing that we all need to know is when Michael quit or was asked to quit in 2006 with Ferrari, he actually came back and he proved to people that there can be life after Ferrari.
Yes, yes.
And while I mean it in a Formula One context, I also mean it in a life context, if you get what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
It gets most interesting. He's the most loved and the most hated driver.
He's the people's champion.
Yes. So, what was the one thing you disliked about him?
I hate that he's not in Formula One.
Okay, that's supposed to be my answer. Get your own.
I'll give you your answer.
Right.
You hate that he's in the hospital bed right now.
Oh, man. Seriously. Why did he go skiing, man?
I know. It should have been me. Oh, come on. One thing that we both of us, Kunal and I, believe and should be done by Formula One immediately is to absolutely block number 1 for Michael Schumacher as far as the number 1 jersey is concerned. The permanent driver numbers are concerned. I think it should belong to him. Either that or 91.
Absolutely. And you know what Sebastian Vettel should do as a mark of respect? If he ever, and should he ever reach number 90 as a race win, he should just retire.
I would love to see that happen, but I don't think he's a German of that sort. He's a German at the end of the day.
So apart from all this, come on, let's bring in all the zest and the zeal and the stuff back. So once he is back, and you and I both know, and we really strongly believe he will be.
Absolutely.
What is the one thing that you'd like to see him do, Rishi?
I would never like to see him go skiing again.
Okay.
What would you like to see him do?
I would love to see him become a TV commentator.
Oh, well, why not join us here?
Yes, and of course, then come back, be a co-host, co-producer. He can do everything he wants on the inside line. He can replace you, Rishi, no problem.
That was going to be my answer.
And probably go and drive a few SLS AMGs and, sign off a few cars, be the ambassador for the sport. Well, there's just so much he could do, but just stop skiing and come back, Michael.
Yeah, just come back. We really want you back. We know you are the champion and you will out-qualify Death by 0.4. And one more thing, both Kunal and I would like to say for you. That is 1, 2, 3. Michael Schumacher ist Weltmeister.
I'm bad at German, Rishi.